welcome back to Sheffield then for what is the 13th and final game of this playoff weekend, and it pits the Elite League Kingston Diamonds against the Division 1 playoff champions, the Bristol Huskies. The winner of which will be playing in the Elite League next season. The losers will remain or will play in Division 1. If we look at this Kingston Diamonds side then, they are missing their two top scorers. Katie Marsden is out injured with a separated shoulder, while I believe Mia Forbes is suspended for this game. Two massive losses for them. They will be led then by Kiana Tate, number 92, who often plays on that top line with them and is such a hard worker. So watch out for her. Then there's Croatian Anja Kadijevic, who will be looked to as the senior forward to really carry this team forward. For the Bristol Huskies, well, we've seen them in action already a couple of times this weekend, led by captain and top scorer Katie Edginson, while Jess Jones is also got Elite League experience. But the one is the one to really look out for is number 28, Mila Peroni. She is possibly the hottest young talent in the league right now, and she could cause a lot of damage. So we are almost ready for puck drop here then. Very quick turnaround from the end of the previous game. And
huge game, Adam, here.
It is. It's Lizzie Saunders who will centre this top line, with Kiana Tate playing on our off wing on the left. She normally operates on the right, and I think it's Kate Taylor completing the lineup as that one is blasted clear.
That's a big hit there on the blue line from looks like
penalty called then in the first 16 seconds. Jazz Little, yeah, it is, isn't it? So an early power
Gemma
play.
Wallace, sorry.
Yes,
Gemma
no,
Wallace.
you're right. It's 91. You're absolutely right, Ash. It is. 16 seconds in. I mean, that's a great opportunity for Bristol, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they've had the heads in the game all weekend, I suppose, and they've got the momentum there. They don't really need a first period to kind of warm up unless they've kind of got the first or second day off legs kind of on them. But Kingston will probably need maybe a period or so just to kind of settle into their team that they've got with them today, which I think is probably different to the lineup. Well, yeah, obviously different to the lineup they had in Division 1 playoffs, which was mostly not including the likes of, you got Holly Cornford out there, Gemma Wallace, B. Lester. These are big players that you want on your team for tight games like this.
Yeah, a lot of experience, and Holly Cornford, one of the best defenders in the Elite League. That's going to be chased down by CJ Ashton, who again often goes unnoticed actually amongst all this talent on the team, but she is a really good two-way centre. Mila Peroni will get the return pass, having initially carried the puck into the zone. She'll chase that one down, but Diamonds centred it into the corner. But back, they are complemented by the vast majority of that Division 1 side, though, so there is some youth to balance off the experience as well. But I mean, somebody of Katie Marsden's quality, particularly being a GB international as well, and a top line GB international, is going to be a huge loss for the Diamonds in this game.
Absolutely, especially when you're going up against the likes of Gemma Davies here, and you need that strong offensive pressure, especially against a talented goaltender. As we were saying before, Adam plays WNIHL 1 men's. You need quality chances on net, and Katie Morrison brings those, every game she plays. So yeah, huge loss for Kingston today.
Well, indeed, yeah, and let me say that is something they're going to have to adapt to. Georgia Ashton has got the starting goal for the Kingston Diamonds, who has been their #1 choice in the Elite League this season.
Ashton has also been away with the Fishy girls as well.
Yeah.
Faced the shots from Canada and USA.
Which is a really good experience, isn't it, for players playing in this British League?
Absolutely, she did phenomenally well.
Yep, and we'll get a face-off then just outside the Diamond zone. And about 29 seconds left on this Huskies power play. So it's always kind of weird, isn't it, when you start the game with an early power play like this, and neither team's got settled yet, have they?
No, that not quite yet, Adam. I think we're just kind of still setting up, our outlet passes still, and Kingston have a hard forward check. You can see that CJ Ashton came out really strong in her shift, and again there you've got another hard forward check from Kingston, so they're not giving a lot of time or space for Bristol.
Oh, absolutely.
Jess Jones there coming down in the wing, talented young forward as well.
She is,
looking for a backdoor pass, nobody was there.
Former GB under 18 international. Has played elite with Guildford this season, certainly last season as well, and another to have played with Swindon and Queen Bee. So that's a lot of experience she's packed into that time. I think she had a year in Canada as well. The year she's had her final year with GB. So she is a really talented player. Loves playing for Bristol.
Number 51 actually gets the nickname Macaroni, Adam, because her first name's Mackenzie.
Yeah, Mackenzie Kelly.
She's actually got a tattoo of a macaroni on her elbow.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah. And I think they call it elbow pasta or something.
Oh, okay. As that one is sent up round the boards into a corner. Still inside the offensive zone. Bristol trying to get a shot off here with Kelly, and she will go high there. And comes off the shoulder of Georgia Ashton. Diamonds are now back to full strength, but still with that momentum with Bristol. Into a corner. Little works it back. Melissa Veal. And then over to Holly Cornford. Holly will enter the zone. On this left wing side, dumped in behind the back of the net and comes back across for Mila Peroni to tip away and out. Now push out now the Huskies, but Diamonds with players back there. On that far side, Helen Emerson it is making the defensive play. Looks like she is partnering Holly Cornford on D, or at least she was on that shift anyway. As strong work off the puck by Lizzie Saunders, who I haven't seen a great deal this season. She's also been playing for the Sutton Sting in the men's league. Not played a great deal for the Division 1 side, but GB International as well, of course, as that one pops up off the blocker of Georgia Ashton. And Ash, even though they weren't able to convert on that power play, Bristol, they've still got a lot of momentum going their way right now.
Yeah, Bristol do generate strong offensive chances as well. They've got some talented players out there, and they pick a good power play as well, one that usually does kind of capitalise, so surprising they didn't get one there on them.
Indeed, yeah, that one deflects up into the netting. Not quite 5 minutes on the clock then at the start of this game. This is a game which no elite league side ever wants to play in, isn't it?
No, exactly. I think Bristol have seen this game a few times, Adam, in the last few seasons, so they're kind of used to this kind of Monday morning slog.
Yeah.
But Kingston haven't seen this kind of game in a long time, so yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they respond.
That is a very good point made there. Yeah, you're right. Bristol have been involved in these games. Of course, you played in a game a couple of years ago, which essentially relegated Bristol into this league in the first place, with the Beacons getting promoted. Last season, we saw Streatham retain their place in the elite league when they beat the Swindon Top Cats, having fallen a goal behind.
That's right. I couldn't remember who was in this game last season, Adam.
Yeah, it was a really good game actually, because Swindon took the lead, but very quickly it turned back in Streatham's favour, and they retained their place. It was on the Friday night as well, before a lot of the teams had even arrived here for the playoffs. But so it's kind of gone. It's 1-1 in the series, if you like. The Elite League team has won one of the games, and Division 1 has won the other. So Bristol looking to get their first promotion via this route, and well, if they were to do so, it'd be the first time they've would have ever played the Beacons, because they've passed each other twice along the way when they've both been relegated and promoted in the past.
Huge rebound there that couldn't quite release there. The Kingston defender doing well to keep the stick down from that Bristol forward. I think that might have been Gemma Wallace.
I think it was, yeah. Becky Inca with the shot.
As you say, Adam, this experience from Hull is what you need in these games. You know, you need players that, I'll know to stop this chance from happening if I just hold the stick, or simple things like that that can keep juicy rebounds at bay.
Yeah, well, this is true. That's what you hope for, isn't it? And Bristol asking a lot of the questions right now.
Very close chance there again from Bristol.
Yeah, it was. As Kiana Tate doing a good job of carrying the puck out. And one of the real unsung heroes on this team. Banked off the boards. Cornford is open on the point. It's Lizzie Saunders who sends it into the corner. Now Kate Taylor, a former Whitley Bay Beacons junior herself, as that shot comes through and will be saved by Gemma Davis, who's been outstanding in this playoffs already. You faced her in the semi-final on Saturday, didn't you?
Yes, my line didn't get a single shot on her though, Adam. So I can't say that we couldn't score against her because we never actually got the chance.
No.
But I think maybe if we did get a shot off, they could have been toast, to be honest.
Well, indeed. Well, yes. I mean, there is an explosive firepower on that Steel Queens lineup. So, yeah, I don't doubt it, as we're going to get another penalty here. It's going to be on the Diamonds and Anya Kadijevic, the Zagreb-born forward, who was this is her second stint with the Diamonds. She played for Guildford for a couple of years in between that, and I think prior to being at Kingston the first time, she's spent some time with the Queen Bees, so somebody who knows this league really well. We'll get a face-off inside the Diamond zone. Jess Jones to take the draw for the Huskies, and still the momentum is with them. Jones coming down the slot there, gets a shot off. It's a good save from... Oh, it's in! They've converted! And it's Katie Edgington who put the Huskies in the lead here, and the Huskies leading scorer and captain does it again. She gave her side the lead in that semi-final against Caledonia on Saturday, and she's got the go-ahead goal once again.
Katie Edgington's had her Weetabix again for the third day in a row, with that amazing kind of rebound, capitalisation to find the top corner. Jess Jones all alone in the slot actually before then, with a late kind of read from the Kingston defence to try and take her out of the play, but unfortunately the rebound just came right out and found Katie Edgington, and if it finds Katie Edgington in the slot, as I said before, Adam, it's your goalie's toast.
You really are, because she's the last person you want to give a shooting opportunity to. She's an absolute goal-scoring machine. I mean, Diamonds have just got to be so careful with their discipline here, aren't they? Because they set up really nicely, the Huskies there, and converted early on. Danny Newlove with the draw then. It would be almost unthinkable that Kingston would get relegated to Division 1, but they're going to have to get a reaction here, and so far the momentum has been with the Huskies. Newlove into the corner, collects her own rebound, and then will clear. That will be a nice stretch pass for Melissa Veal to chase down. Dealt with by Matilda Ravel.
Hull have had a difficult season this year, Adam. They've maybe not performed as well as they have done in previous seasons. So yeah, it'd be good to see some of their top players coming out and trying to make a difference here today.
Yeah, I mean, it's so tough though when you're dealing without your two best players, or your two best offensive players, I should say. And I mean, Katie Marsden would be a miss on anyone's team, and obviously Mia Forbes is another one who puts up so many goals. And you just don't want to be without them going into a game like this. As we've got a breakaway here at the other end, nicely controlled by Lizzie Saunders, who gets a shot off, but Gemma might just got a piece of that with our blocker, helping it on its way. But Lizzie Saunders probably been the brightest spark going forward for the Diamonds in these early exchanges. Yeah,
I agree. I think she's had the kind of top quality chances so far.
She has. Mila Peroni with that effort. That will be saved by Georgia Ashton. We'll get a replay of the Saunders chance here at the other end. Becky Inca coming across, but nicely cut back. Thought about the shot from the high slot and then advanced a bit more, but then that second Huskies player coming in, just doing enough to put her off there. And then we'll get a face-off then with Becky Osmond taking the draw for the Huskies.
And that's what you need, Adam. You kind of, even if the shot gets off, if you put a bit of pressure on that shooting, the shooter. They kind of, they maybe don't shoot as where they want or exactly how they want. So even if the shot does go off, if you've got pressure from behind you, in front of you, to the side of you, it's going to put you off no matter who you are. So Bristol doing well there to still not give up and still try and catch up with the shooting chances.
Definitely. As that one goes into a corner, it'll be up to Kadijevic. Now CJ Ashton, who will carry into his own. Nice pass out wide to Millie Fulbourn, but nice block coming in there by Benson, I think it was. And she'll go again to clear. Cooper, who Grace Cooper's was the Division 1 defensive all-star last year. That's such a strong season and really a part of the defensive corps for the Elite League team now as well. Such a good young talent.
Bit scrappy down here, Adam, that we're not kind of clearing the puck here, and the speed's kind of dropped a bit. What would you agree?
Yeah, I would actually. Yeah, that's it's quite a slow pace to it actually, and considering that Bristol have been playing high tempo hockey all weekend, maybe they are feeling it. This is their third game in just over 2 days. And for Kingston, obviously some of these players will have played a semi-final as well. So and the early morning start doesn't help, I guess. But
early morning, it's 10:45.
Well, yeah, but you know. You know
Wake
what I mean.
up and smell the coffee, girls.
Yeah. Yes, you can tell you come from a university background. You're used to playing all these ridiculous face-off times, aren't you?
You haven't lived if you haven't come home at 4 in the morning and then had a face-off at 6.
Yeah.
In here.
Yes, I can fully appreciate that. Wouldn't be for me. I've got to be honest.
Quality of hockey, it's probably not comparable here, but doable.
Yeah. Puck goes into the corner with Jess Jones, so she will control. And that was off an icing call while we got the face-off in the diamond zone. Still with Jones. Nice play off the backhand to release Matilda Ravel on the far side, who's pinching up from the back. Now Diamond's looking to carry out with Izzy Oswin.
It's a smart little play from Izzy Oswin there to try and get around Matilda Revel there, but it just didn't quite finish the way she'd liked to there.
No, that's true. Such a good player as well, Izzy Oswin. Oh, it's Taylor actually who's out there, sorry. But similar size and build, aren't they? And the numbers
yeah, sorry, I was completely trusting you to tell me who that was.
It's because one's 56 and one's 65, and that's what's tripped me up. I'm sure I saw 56 out there. I'm sure that wasn't Kate Taylor before, but Kate is the normal right winger on this line, so it would make sense. But perhaps our eyes were deceiving us. But Lizzie Saunders will chase that one into a corner. Reval will get there first.
Do you think Bristol are rolling 2 lines, Adam? Because I'm seeing a lot of similar names out there in quite a short space of time.
Yeah, they've pretty much done that all weekend. So you've got the Becky Osman line with Katie Edgington and Mackenzie Kelly on either side of her, and then you've got the Jess Jones line with Mila Peroni and Ellen Pereira-Mori. There are a couple of other forwards who do rotate in. The likes of Aniko Gal, the Hungarian-born forward, who was previously with the Slough Sirens, and Evie Corson, so they have come in later on the games, but yeah, they have pretty much just rolled 2 lines all weekend.
Yeah, I did notice that.
Diamonds obviously can roll 4 line. Well, they've been rolling 3, but they do have a 4th line, I believe. So I mean, that could be interesting later on, because Bristol, if you've just used those 2 lines all weekend, they're going to be tired to the end and towards the end. And Diamonds have got fresh legs on the bench, so that'll be interesting, particularly in the third. I feel as Katie Edgington will carry forward. Gets a shot off and scores, and it's 2-0, and she doubles up. And the Diamonds have got some work to do here, as Katie Edgington has spotted her side a 2-goal lead, and the Huskies are edging closer to a return to the Elite League, having been a couple of years away.
Edgington edges them closer.
There you go. Edgington edges them closer. What a shot, though. Uses a defender as a screen. Shoots home on the blocker side.
Great Sally there too. Slapped the knee.
It was.
Was a knee slapper, that's for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. And she's such a nice person. When you speak to her off the ice. Great ambassador for the sport as well.
Yeah, I heard she was on the podcast as well, Adam.
Covered up there by Gemma Davies. Yeah, and she's also the coach for the Bristol Huskies. The Bristol Puppies, sorry, for the 16s team. So
very good.
We'll get a replay here of the entry into the zone by the Diamonds. This is kind of their first response. The Danny Newlove line out there, but it was the shot on the backhand from Holly Cornford which forced that save and actually caused Gemma Davies quite a bit of problem there, which we haven't seen many players do this weekend.
No, I think that's kind of what other teams against Bristol have been kind of missing, is that kind of front of net presence with Gemma Davies. If you're going to try and score against Gemma Davies, you almost have to take away her vision, because if she can see that shot, even the second or third shot, if she can see that, it's not going in the net. It's Gemma Davies in the net. You're going to need to take her vision away. So if Diamonds can see that and capitalise on that, I suppose they might get a couple of goals for them. But I think it's only so far Gemma Davies has let in one goal this weekend. Am I right in saying that? Two
yesterday against Swindon. Yeah, there was a shot from Ellie Wallace even, which was a powerful drive which she did stop, but there was enough power on the puck for it to crawl over, and then there was that absolute Exocet missile from Lily Endicott, who fired top shelf glove side, which nobody would ever have stopped.
What's the call on that for, Adam?
I'm not entirely sure. It was for, was it icing? Because they brought it right back. Didn't actually.
Not quite sure why that.
No, I'm not sure even. It could only have been icing or for an intentional offside, but either way, it's going to be a face-off in the Huskies zone. I'm not entirely sure what that was, but CJ Ashton works it back to B. Leicester. She lines up alongside
the face-off in this zone and plays now, Adam. These are really important for the Diamonds. A goal here in this period will really help them try and take momentum out of Bristol.
Yeah, they do need to hit back, Kingston. Without stating the obvious, they do need a goal to get themselves back into it as a contest. But as you say, as a momentum killer, they absolutely do need a response, because what they can't afford to do is go a third goal behind, because the sort of form that Gemma Davies has been in, it's going to take a really big effort for anyone to score against her.
Absolutely, Adam.
But Bristol are in a really good position right now. There's a lot of hockey to be played before this game's finished, but they are in the box seat right now. 2 early goals have them in charge, and Grace Cooper is having to drive her team forward here.
Grace Cooper doing really well there to kind of get around the defenders from all of Bristol, skating right through them, like threading the needle there, right through the middle of the ice. I've kind of seen Casey Trail doing moves like that as well with Whitley, just with how amazing her hands are coming up the ice. And I think Grace Cooper, just with her skating ability, was able to kind of get around the defence, get a good shot on net there for Kingston. Probably one of their strongest chances I've seen so far in the game. Yeah,
they are starting to grow into it, but I mean, there comes a time when you do have to really start pushing. I know you can't leave yourself exposed at the back, not early in a game, but a 2-goal hole like this, I mean, you just can't leave it too late, because I mean, we saw how well the Huskies dealt with Swindon yesterday, and of course Swindon beat Kingston in their semi-final, where a lot of the players were involved. So going off that alone, it will say that this is going to be a tough game for the Diamonds, and 2 goals down as they are, it's going to take some turnaround. As Kiana Tate will control.
From what we've seen, Adam, this weekend, is you almost have to double your shot count, against Bristol than you've had against yourself, in order to actually get any kind of. Well, Steel Queens did exactly that,
32-16, didn't they? And still couldn't find a way past her.
Yeah.
There's over 2 shots that have beat her have come off 2 of the top GB internationals in Ellie Wallace and Lily Endicott. 2 different strikes, both powerful shots, both in their own way unstoppable, and you couldn't really blame Gemma for either of them. I know she wanted that first goal back, but you can't really do too much when it's a powerful shot. She made it stop, but the puck just was able to roll home and the puck had legs and found its way home. But yeah, as I said before, the Endicott goal was just, well, probably the goal or the shot of the tournament, really, in many ways. Such a powerful release on it. As that one will be dealt with and carried in by Davis. She'll hold on. But yeah, the Huskies are actually staying in my hotel, well, and yours, because you're staying in my hotel as well. I had a chat with some of them last night, and they were confident coming into this game, as they should be, because this is a team that's played well throughout the season with confidence. And
I think you can be confident, Adam, with a goaltender like Gemma. It really just adds that extra layer of protection and on armour to your team. So yeah, I can see why they're confident.
Absolutely, yeah. As Mackenzie Kelly will dump that one in. Ashton deals with it well, though. I think that's Jess Wooding carrying that one out. And, she is on a pairing with Grace Cooper, two of the younger players on the team. But good to see Jess back playing this season. I know she had a really bad ACL injury last year. Was it an MCL injury?
Is that right?
Yeah, it was certainly one of the
knee ligaments don't do women very well, sure they don't.
No, they really don't.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not just in hockey, but it seems to be a common theme in a lot of sports. I know the England Lionesses, the football team, have had a lot of issues over the last year or so.
Tears, yeah, no.
And with some of the local girls in Newcastle and the volleyball league have had ACL tears. I know there's one girl locally who's only 16 and she's already had to have an operation, which is not ideal, is it, for that age? Well, not at any age, but when you particularly got a long career ahead of you.
Yeah, definitely.
As that one is dug out from over on that far side by Holly Cornford, who captains the side. Saying before, that the experience of Holly, she's such a strong defender. Have you played against her at some point now?
Cornford?
Yeah.
Yes, I have. It might have been... Oh, I don't actually know. Maybe I've not.
No, she's only tended to play elite, and I know you when the year you were at Whitley was the year they were in Div 1, but or Prem.
Yeah, I don't think actually no, I don't think I have played against her.
But she's always impresses me whenever I see her against the Beacons, and makes life difficult for the likes of Steph Towns and Abby Coulshaw. Yeah. If you can make life difficult for those two, you're doing a good job, aren't you?
Oh, definitely.
If that one is kept inside. Becky York over on that far side. And carried forward by Benson. Nice drop pass to Peroni. That one shot, I think it deflected off. Might have been Grace Cooper, maybe Millie Fulbourn. It come off one of them. Fulbourn, who is from the Sheffield area, started with our local club, the Shadows, but transferred to the Diamonds this season with the opportunity of Elite League hockey. I mean, again, we know it's a long way to go, but if the unthinkable was to happen and Kingston got relegated,
and a good chance here for Bristol.
Here with Kelly. Oh, shot wide. High glove save by Ashton, just forcing her to shoot over. But if they were to get relegated, there's a lot of senior players who might not want to play in Division 1 and might want elite hockey, and well, not many options to go to. It's kind of either Solihull or Whitley, isn't it? I'm just thinking where some of these girls might want to play their hockey next season, or for the likes of Millie, who can play on a two-way, she might want to play elite and Div 1. Ishbel Wright is going to take the draw then on this line. Another one who is from the Sheffield area, and it continues on a two-way. Now, Izzy Oswin is on the ice now. I've spotted her, number 56, so I know I'm not seeing things.
Oh, I heard the air leave Matilda's lungs there as she fell.
Yeah, you could, couldn't you? It was a resounding noise. It ricocheted around the boards.
Matilda's a girl I coached and have played with in GBU and the GB bandy team. She's a great girl, really good team player, very focused girl, and actually was really worked on her off-ice fitness over the summer last year and this year, and it really paid off in Torino. You could see how conditioned she was. Yeah,
and I mean that must have been a great experience for you as well. I know you've played in those tournaments in the past, in Lake Placid, for example, but you got to coach this time around, and I mean some of the players you get to meet, they're all from different levels within the women's game.
Yeah,
and that must be great to really to be a part of.
Yeah, and I think it was great to actually honour people from all different backgrounds that come from women's hockey in the UK. So not only does like this fantastic women's league that we have, but also the university league as well. That Charlotte Cramp just started uni.
Yeah, that's right.
She started hockey at uni and worked her way up and played GB students. So yeah, it was good to honour people from lots of different backgrounds.
Indeed. Well, the buzzer's gone. We're going to take a break here, 15-minute break while we get an ice cut. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back to Sheffield then for the second period between Elite League Kingston Diamonds and the Division 1 playoff champions, the Bristol Huskies. I'm joined by Aisling Rafter, and Aisling, this is a 2-0 lead for the Huskies right now. Some work to do for the team in this middle session.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait to see how Kingston respond this third period. I think they're probably going to come out quite fiery and quite feisty here, and we'll probably put the pressure that is needed on the net here for Bristol that we've probably not seen yet all weekend. So I'm excited for that, Adam.
Yeah, absolutely. We are expecting a response. The teams have had a chance to regroup in the dressing room, and here we go. And the puck is dumped into the corner. It will be chased down by Kate Taylor, who's playing on this top line, brings a lot of speed and works the corners well. Kiana Tate on the opposite flank with Lizzie Saunders centering them. That's our first look at this Kingston Diamonds team of the playoffs, but we have seen the Huskies. This is their third appearance, and we've played on all 3 days, so we have got a little bit more familiar with them. As the puck comes through for Kiana Tate.
Out there, but just couldn't quite make the contact with her stick that she needed.
Yeah, almost a spinnerama there for Kiana, who is one of the local girls from Hull, from Hessel, to the west of the city. As Gemma Wallace will control. Nice work by Taylor, trying to lift the stick there with Jess Jones, but this is a much more positive start from the Diamonds, isn't it? They've started on the front foot here. And
yeah, absolutely. They were in possession there for quite a long time.
Forever Murray gets that one under control. Such a nice skating style that she's got to get that one under her control there. And then Anya Kadievich will counter. Not going up the opposite end, but some good back checking there from Pereira Murray, who showing both sides of their game on the same shift. Helen Emerson, that one bounces through the crease, and Gemma Davis with a bit of work to do there to clear it. But already Diamonds are applying the pressure. Kadievich over to the far side in Cornford, kick save from Davis. And good work over on the far side by the Croatian-born forward. Millie Forborn now will have to delay while her line mates get back on side. She'll just drop back and hold on to possession. Now she's got a chance to enter the zone on the far side, which she'll now do. Becky Osmond getting a stick on that. She put in one great performance in the final yesterday to beat Swindon. That's as good as I think a game I've ever seen from her, and she's been such a great player for both Swindon and Bristol over the years, so that's saying a lot really. I thought she was outstanding. There's a shot coming in there from, I think it was Kate Taylor. It must be, because that's her line out there, and that one shoots through the blue paint and back out. Jess Wooding collects on these near boards. But as we saw, Aisling, this is kind of a reverse of what we saw in the first period, where Bristol were camped in the Diamond zone early on, and this is what now the Diamonds are doing to the Huskies, and they need to do that, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. I think the Huskies were kind of expecting this kind of retaliation, I suppose, to the dominant Bristol performance. So they have also come out in a bit of a back foot themselves, expecting the fight back from them. So yeah, I wasn't expecting anything else either myself too. So yeah, it's just a biding time. Yeah, shot comes in. That's a good save by Georgia Ashton.
Well, I did see Katie Marsden before on the bar. She's got a shoulder injury which prevents her from playing in this game. So we do feel for that and wish her a speedy recovery ahead of next season. And talking of injuries, of course, Sarah Hutchinson, who left the final yesterday in the third period and had to go to hospital for a leg injury. We do wish her all the very best on behalf of the WNIHL and of course Ice Maidens as well. We hope to see Sarah back on the ice next season as well, but our thoughts very much with her as she receives the treatment.
It was an excellent board battle win there by Matilda Revel.
Yeah, it was. That one controlled by Wallace to get it out the zone and then making sure she shepherds it back really, or just shields it while Kadievich could carry out, or Edge and Wallace will collide, and it was just a mid-ice collision, wasn't it, Ashley? Neither of them were particularly looking at each other and they just happened to cross paths.
Yeah, that was a big hit there on the blue line between the two players.
Yeah, I seem to remember you getting involved in a big hit down here last season in the playoffs.
Yeah, so my brother also committed a similar crime and got banned for 5 games.
Wow, okay. That sounds a bit harsh if it was similar to the one you delivered.
Yeah, it was very similar.
As that one is cut through the neutral zone. Taylor sends it across to Cornford, gets a return pass in and forward to Danny Newlove, and the Beverley-born forward will chase that one into the corner. Well dealt with though by the Huskies' Hope Corson, who is playing on this top defensive pairing alongside Becky Inker. Controlled by the Huskies. That's a stretch pass, trying to play in Jess Jones and sorry, Pereira Murray even, but Jess Jones who centres this line. It's a bit unusual to see her there. Oof, thought she could have put it into her own net there. She controlled, but
that was a very, very lucky turnover there to Bristol as the shot went wide and pinged almost right out into the slot and onto the end of a stick of a Kingston player. Gemma Davies kind of probably kissing her gloves, you know, just thinking that was a close one.
Well, it certainly was a close one, yeah. But yeah, it's. I was going to say about Jess Jones, it's unusual to see her at centre because all her career she's played wing and been a very good winger as well. So having to play through the centre, but she's played well in this tournament, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's playing great.
Will be controlled by Jess over on that far side, battling with one of the Kingston players. Didn't quite get the numbers. Controlled in the corner is Jazz Little, in fact, who plays defence for the Div 1 team, but forward for the Elite, and that one shoots through the, or just wide from Kadievich, went through the blue paint and back into the corner. Now Ashton winds one up. Big rebound, big save by Gemma Davis. That one's away, fired in from the point and then gathered by Inker, who will clear. That one's dumped into a corner, and Nico Gall will chase that one down.
Bristol are used to this, Adam. They've held out teams in the third period, you know, and still managed to take the win. So
yeah,
this is routine for this team now.
Well, indeed, yeah. Like you say, they've got used to playing it. They look strong over the course of a year, and I did fancy them to do well in these playoffs this year. And well, they've had to get here against two strong teams in Caledonia and Swindon to qualify for this game, despite winning their division or conference, or however you want to term it. Danny Newlove with the draw, she'll collect it off the boards, and we'll find Jazz Little. Nice return pass, trying to pick out Melissa Veal. This is good work from Miss Diamond's line, and the shot, it rode up. It might even have come off Inker's stick there, and it certainly helped Davis, as it was a high shot which cleared the bar.
I think it came off Gemma's pad or helmet as well.
Yeah, I think it came off the helmet afterwards, that's right. After the defender's intervention, it definitely came off her helmet. As B. Lester will control, former Milton Keynes player. She is from the Milton Keynes area, but has since relocated to Kingston.
She lives in Kingston now, I know.
Yeah, I think so. I believe so. It's a bit of a commute from Milton Keynes otherwise. But you played against her the season the Beacons got promoted. She was playing for the Falcons that season.
Yes, it was, and they always turn up to Bristol tournament in their underwear over their shorts.
That's the ones, yeah, they did. They did indeed.
Is it that team? Yeah.
It was. It was indeed that time. As that one clears the zone, Jess Jones will control, falls to her knees, but was still able to control the puck as Holly Cornford now marshalling the defence. That one will go deep, and that'll be chased down by Millie Fulborn. Did well, actually. She's forced a turnover. In the end, we'll leave it for her line mate Kadijevic. Nice work from her. And then CJ Ashton, Manchester-born centre. Oh, shot from Kadijevic. That forces a save out of Gemma Davis. That's probably the most awkward save that Gemma's had to execute so far.
I agree, yeah. I think they more quality chances like that, Adam, and it's a biding time for Hull to try and get the numbers here on the board. Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, if this Diamonds team does get relegated, it will pose quite a conundrum because they'll have two teams in Division 1 North next season. They won't be allowed to operate under the same name, of course, because that would just be confusing. And, of course, the players who are on two-way contracts now and can play up from Div 1 into Elite, that can no longer happen either. So they'll have to have two separate rosters with two completely different names. So one would presumably remain as the Kingston Diamonds, and the other one might be the Kingston Sapphires or something like that, or Emeralds, and maybe a Hull name in the title.
I didn't know that, Adam.
Yeah. So they wouldn't be allowed to have two teams in the same league with the same name, because currently it's just essentially they're known as Kingston Diamonds B in Division 1 North. That's officially what they're called for stats purposes. But and they've got a Kingston Diamonds C in Division 2. But if they're in the same league, then yeah, they can coexist, but they have to have completely different rosters, of course, and that will strain resources, won't it? Because they'll have to split the rosters and see who plays for who.
That's a huge task.
Well, it is. It's not something I want to have to deal with, and as I say, it's almost unthinkable, really. I mean, the Division 1 side won that division this season rather, and their first title since 1999. Whilst their elite team has had to play in this relegation game, but again, you know, a fit Katie Marsden next season playing in Division 1, I mean, you just can't quite picture it, can you?
No, and I can't imagine that would happen, Adam.
Well, we shall see, of course. It's all still different permutations right now because there's still plenty of hockey to go, but we are just considering the possibilities of the outcome, and as it stands, it is Bristol who are going to be playing in the Elite League if the scoreline stays the same. Bristol, who were in the Elite, were relegated from the Elite 2 years ago in this very game, when Ashling's Whitley Bay Beacons beat them 5-0, and all 5 goals scored by Steph Towns. But I mean, you'd have to say, Ash, that this Bristol side looks a lot stronger than the one perhaps that the Beacons beat on that occasion. They look a lot more confident, don't they?
I think defensively, especially, Adam, they're very much stronger around their net, protecting Gemma. Gemma, you know, can only do so much, but now she's got a bit more of a strong defence around her, and a bit more polished defence. I think, you know, those turnovers in front of the net in the slot that Steph was able to capitalise on, you know, every single time she got the chance to, just don't happen as much now.
No, I mean, that was like one of the all-time great playoff performances from Steph, wasn't it?
That was
all 5 goals.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like you need somebody to step up in that moment and drag the team up, and that was Steph doing that and showing why she is such a great player.
Absolutely.
And that certainly will be etched in my memory for some time, as will be controlled by the Huskies. Yeah. That's calmly played out by Inca as she heads back to the bench.
I've never been so happy for a teammate, you know, like
yeah, exactly, and it's just nice to see, isn't it, as well? But you were a part of it, of course. But as you say, Steph continues to be this great ambassador for a sport and role model, particularly for the younger girls coming through as well.
So inspiring.
So, you know, we have seen some great performances in these playoff games over the past, and Diamonds got off to a really strong start in this period, but it's gone a little bit flat, hasn't it, the last 5 minutes or so. And they just need to find that spark once again, because Bristol are starting to control the puck nicely.
And I think, you know, Hull haven't faced Bristol kind of all season, I suppose, as a Elite League team.
Yeah.
They don't know the resilience they need to have whenever you've still no goals on the scoreboard, and you've only got, you know, half a game left. You need to have a bit more resilience in your team to continue with that mentality of we're going to win this game. You saw that from Swindon yesterday. Swindon, you know, never stopped. You know, not at one point, because they have faced them a few times and know exactly what they're dealing with. Hull, whenever I feel like they've faced more resistance, probably the most resistance, probably from getting goals so far.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. And I mean, this is a club, when you haven't collected many wins over a season, it is a team which lacks confidence. And again, when Whitley and Bristol played 2 years ago, Whitley had won all 16 regular season games plus 2 more at the playoffs to make it an 18-0 perfect record going into that game, whereas Bristol had lost all 20. And it's, you know, if you look at the momentum, it's huge. There's a Bristol player gone down there up front in that collision. Hopefully she's okay. She's staying down. I didn't quite catch the numbers.
I think it might have been something that had happened before she fell. I don't know whether it was a high stick or...
Possibly, yeah. It did sound a clash of sticks, didn't it? But she's still down there, and she's being looked at by our teammates and the medic, Nikki Goodwin. So yeah, we're obviously going to just blank that out so that we give the injured player a little bit of privacy there, but I can tell you that she is being attended to, and she is back up quite quick actually, which is pleasing. It's Becky Osmond, the player coach of the Huskies. So she was given a quick once over by the medics, and she's okay. Hopefully it was just nothing more than having the wind knocked out of her a bit. And she's obviously a veteran campaigner. She's took all the knocks before. She knows what it's like in a game of hockey.
Yeah, she's pretty tenacious as well. If she goes down, you know, it's something that's been quite sore.
Well, that's right. Yeah, you never see her go down, really, do you? So thankfully she's okay, and she's back up to continue. So that one's poked clear off the blue line, chased into a corner, and will be dealt with by Helen Emerson. Bristol keeping the puck moving with Mila Peroni. But now Diamond's having to dig it off the boards. It come to Peroni at the high slot. Now it's just got off her stick, but still able to get the shot off. She had to drift wide, but I think Holly Cornford's presence was enough to help her shoot wide, wasn't it?
Yeah.
As Tate will chase this one down. Nice defensive play by Matilda Ravel. Good work by her behind the back of the net as well. And Paige Green it is, who's on a defensive pairing with Paige, who is part of the Solihull Vixens side in the Elite League. Oh, it's in! No, it's come off the inside of her post. I thought it had gone in for a second. Great shooting opportunity. That was a chance, really, because they beat Gemma, who's coming that one in this time quite with a routine save. But we'll see the replay coming up now. But it beat her, but didn't beat the pipes. See the Lizzie Saunders it was with the low.
Fed it right through and left Kiana Tate completely open there in the slot, and there's an invisible force field around that net, Adam.
Oh, isn't there? Yeah, there really is. I mean, Kiana did everything right there, and you know, any other game in the season that would have been bulging in the back of the net, but on this occasion it pings off the pipes and comes back out. But it was well taken by Kiana. Pereira Mori gathered from a deep position. Kadajevic. I mean, this is a Diamond side, though. I mean, if this team does get relegated, a team which has beaten Whitley Bay Beacons twice on Kingston on Hull ice and beat the regular season champions, the Solihull Vixens there. So I mean, this isn't a bad side, is it? They've taken 3 wins off the top 3 teams. So. Yeah. You know, to beat the champions as well. I mean, they do have a good record against Solihull. They tend to win at least one game against them every season. But
Yeah, the Elite League this season's been incredibly entertaining. It's been going one way or the other way, and it's not been predictable, some of these games that they've been playing throughout the year.
That's right. Well, yeah, you're absolutely spot on. It hasn't been predictable. And, I mean, you was there that day in Solihull with me when the Beacons won in the West Midlands. Oh, it's nicely controlled by Jazz Little. And then good defensive coverage as well. But she was able to get the shot off and then collect her own rebound and shoot again. But really good play, I think, was Becky Inker with that last defensive play.
It looks like Kingston have actually decided to send somebody low onto Gemma, and I think this is the edge they're getting on them now, is they're getting that net presence now, Adam. They're slowly grasping that their best chances have been coming from having good net presence. Yeah,
I think so. As you say, they've probably noticed that, and they've got to try something, and try something different that other teams haven't done to solve Gemma Davis, because she is having a great game, a great playoff series, and on top of what's been a really good season. But yeah, like you say, they have to do something. We're just going to check our monitor doesn't off, so apologies for that pause in play there, folks, but we do rely on the monitor for our replays, and it is on a timer, so it will just go off after about I don't know, maybe 3 hours or so. So we had to just make sure that didn't go off.
Are you still watching the television? Yes.
Yes. Well, we do. It is useful for the replays, of course, as that one is cleared out. Kiana Tate's going to chase this one down, as is Lizzie Saunders. It was a good pass out by Kate Taylor. Well, puck just gets away from Saunders. Taylor with the effort. That's saved by Davis. But as this period comes towards a close, Diamonds are starting to build that momentum once more. We're
starting to see what we've been needing to see, actually, Adam, right? Probably from the start of this period was this really strong kind of offensive pressure, and I think they just needed kind of half the game or so to build that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens now.
Yeah.
With the remainder of this period and going into the next one.
I think whilst it remains a 2-goal game, Diamonds are certainly in it. I think if it goes to 3, it's possibly going to be too tall a task to then get 3 goals back in the final period against Gemma Davis and the form she is currently in.
Anything can happen though, Adam.
Well, this is true. We've got to keep it. We've got to be positive in that respect. We want a nice even contest, don't we?
Yep.
As Emerson on to her backhand, then a forehand drifts wide, but then puck sent behind the back of the net. Jess Jones will carry out with Millie Fulbourn closing in. Nicely dealt with though by Helen Emerson. That's a good defensive play. She'll dump that one back in.
Emerson's a good friend of Bess Goons, and she's another person I think Kingston have been missing the last season or so. She's not been able to play for them.
Yeah, Schooner headed north to Caledonia, of course, at the end of last season. She's now part of the coaching staff in Caledonia as well. But yeah, Helen Emerson, who's actually from County Durham, so knows a lot of the Whitley girls as well. I think she's particularly the likes of Danielle Turnbull, from a similar age group, I think, as Melissa Veal on that far side. Winds one up, pop. That's quite a high save for Gemma, but she's dealt with it. Just trapping it between the glove and the blocker. But another offensive zone face-off for the Diamonds, and they do seem to be enjoying a lot more time in the on the offensive zone right now.
Yeah, and I think Bristol have that much confidence in their goaltender that you know they're not really challenging them too much offensively either.
Yeah,
I would have to say.
Part one pops straight into a bread basket, so Danny Newlove will take the face-off once again. And from the draw, that one will be cleared.
We might see a bit of an offensive chance here for Bristol.
Yeah, we might. Well, yeah, they certainly tried as they entered the zone, but it was a bit of a coming together there, and Jess Wooding with a clearance. Picked off by one of the defenders. I'm not quite sure who that was actually for Bristol. Oh, it's a new defensive pairing. It's Beth Walden who's out there, one of the younger defenders who's playing alongside Becky Inker. But it's good to see actually Bristol are starting to introduce more players who haven't maybe featured across the weekend, and I think by the time you get to game 3 and day 3, you kind of have to, don't you?
Yeah, I know you're itching to get on. Yeah, improve yourself.
Yeah, because I think they only used 5D in the previous 2 games. Well, they're on to their 7th one in this game, so that you can see that they are maybe starting to feel that pressure. Still only used 7 forwards so far, but I say Diamonds continuing to rotate 4 lines, and they still look quite fresh actually every time they hit the ice. Short shifts, I suppose you have to keep it short though if you are rolling 4 lines, otherwise you'd go cold, wouldn't you?
Yes, it certainly worked the best in our game whenever the shifts were shorter.
Yeah.
So we rolled all 4 lines.
Yeah, which is, I know Rambo likes doing that, and full credit to him for doing so, as that one shot wide. I think it took a deflection off the Kingston defender. As B. Leicester again trying to take out the trash, as they call it, as a defensive play.
And puck's loose there, but is cleared.
Yeah, this will be chased down by Kate Taylor. Gemma Wallace will control behind the back of the net inside the final minute of this period then, but Diamonds unable to find the net so far, but that Kiana Tate chance, Ashley, that's as close as they've come.
Yep, absolutely. Need to do more than that just to beat the invisible force fields now.
Yeah, they do, don't they? They certainly do. As again, puck battle continues. Still with Bristol, they're ending the period quite well here, trying to get a couple more shots off. Becky York sends it just behind the back of the net. It'll be controlled behind the goal, behind the net. Becky York can't keep that one in. Well, Kate Taylor will chase that one down, such a fast skater. Cleared up these near boards. Mila Peroni. This is her 4th game of the playoff weekend. That will do it then, Ash. But I mean, it was a bright start and a positive end from the Diamonds, wasn't it? To that 20 minutes.
Yeah, definitely lots of positives to take away from that period for the Diamonds. They had some really good quality chances on net, and I think if they continue, that strength behind them, it's just a biding time, and hopefully, if Bristol keep it close as well, you could go one way or the other still, Adam. They're still definitely in this game.
Yeah, I would agree. We're going to take a break, and as they have another ice cut, we'll be back with you in 15 minutes' time, so please don't go anywhere. Welcome back for the 3rd period then of this game between the Elite League Kingston Diamonds and the Division 1 playoff winners, the Bristol Huskies. I'm Adam Matman, and joining me is Aisling Rafter. Aisling, a much improved performance from the Diamonds then in that 2nd period, wasn't it?
Yeah, so much better. The girls really turned up there in the 2nd period, created a lot of strong offensive opportunities there to get a goal, but unfortunately still 0 on the scoreboard for Kingston.
Yeah, Kiana Tate going the closest. I mean, she went about as close to scoring as you can possibly go without actually finding the back of the net.
Yeah, literally.
But, I mean, that is positive that they can get in behind. They did actually beat Gemma Davis on that occasion, so that will give them fresh hope heading into this. But 20 minutes to really not so much save their season as to save next season more than anything.
Yeah, and I think this will have a ripple effect into a lot of things, Adam.
Yeah,
we were talking
it's
about
going to be huge. It will shake up the whole of the women's game, this. Yeah. It really will, across not just the Elite League, but the way Division 1 and Division 2 will look as well in terms of restructuring the what is now essentially a conference system in Division 1 rather than the nationalised league, as Grace Cooper carries in. Mila Peroni forcing her wide, and then as does the final defender for Bristol, Emily Benson. Jess Jones over on that far side. Controls in front of the boards, and then behind the back of the net it will be played over to Grace Cooper. That's Millie Fulborn controlling it on her backhand, poke clear by Benson once more. Benson will now drop back and collect the puck from around the boards. And then Becky Osman will clear. Shot coming in from Ashton, that's blocked. Rode up off the Huskies plan. Another good shot, pushed away off the pads of Davis. So again, a positive start by the Diamonds. They are working Gemma Davis now. as Kelly look to enter the zone. Edginson pushes the puck back. Kelly will receive. Holly Cornford sticking with her, and then centering pass towards Becky Osman. Onto her flashes Kiana Tate there. She saw that puck coming loose and stepped it up a gear. That will allow the Diamonds to get set in the offensive zone once more. B. Leicester's up there as well from the back and committing more players forward. Still with Leicester. Oh, just wouldn't fall for it on her stick. And then from the high slot, Lizzie Saunders didn't quite get that one under control, and Bristol have the opportunity to control with Matilda Ravel. Anja Kadijevic on that far side. Banked off the boards by Paige Breen. Ravel will control, or Revel, however you want to pronounce it. Revels the sweets springs to mind now, doesn't it? As that one jumps in, dropped in rather, and that will allow the Diamonds to complete a line change. Millie Fulbourn digging it out the corner. Becky Osman again keeping the puck moving, but becoming a little bit scrappy, but the Diamonds still able to keep the puck in the offensive zone. Over on the far side, the Huskies looking to try and build. Diamonds will counter now. Fulbourn is forced inside by Jones, and now nice poke check by Inca, who I don't know how many minutes she's posted during these playoffs, but she always seems to be on the ice. I don't think she's left much. As Peroni tries to cut inside, Cooper got a piece of that one, and then Ashton having to be alert to make sure she didn't creep in on the back post. Shot comes in. Ashton will just watch that one flash behind. Almost 4 minutes played then in this third period, and still it's Bristol Huskies with a 2-goal lead. And a reminder, if it stays this way, it will be they who will play in the Elite League next season, and the Diamonds will be relegated. Shot comes in off that short side. Jones will cover it into the corner. That's going to be a penalty.
It's not what Kingston need at this point in the game at all, Adam.
No, particularly as they're trying to build that momentum. Lizzie Saunders getting called for that. It almost looked like she slipped and as she made that play, and that might have been what brought her down. But you're right, it's certainly not what they want. And well, they're going to have to spend the next 2 minutes trying to kill this one off, and hopefully they will for their sake, because I think, as I say, 3-0, you can't see them coming back from that, really. It would be a monumental effort to come back from there. So Becky Osman to take the draw for Bristol. Works back to Becky York. A lot of Beckys on this this Bristol team.
Becky's and Ashtons.
Yes, there is, yeah. Tripping was the call on Lizzie Saunders. Shots charged down. She's from just down the road from here, really, from the Sutton area, North Nottinghamshire. Shot from Kadijevic, high glove save from Gemma Davis, but not a bad short-handed breakout, that, was it?
No, and I think that's probably one of their best chances so far this period, Adam.
I think so, yeah. I mean, yeah, ironically, I think we've seen that a lot in the playoffs, is teams trying to catch teams on the break, and often when you are set up well defensively, you can defend against that. But as you say, if it breaks out, it's we've seen quite a few breakaway goals, short-handed ones. Louise Adams getting a couple for the Queen Bees against the Beacons in the semi-final, and then Chelmsford Rattlesnakes scoring 3 against Manchester on the same penalty. That was incredible yesterday. Having got a goal down early on, they soon had a 3-1 lead from that penalty.
Yeah, that was incredible.
It was, yeah, and I mean, well done for executing that. Just shows
sometimes that extra bit of space on the ice just changes things for you.
Well, of course, you know, with a team like Manchester on the power play, of course, they're pushing to try and get that goal, aren't they? And you are going to leave yourself exposed. It is, a lot of teams will go all in, and yeah, if somebody reads it perfectly and breaks out, you're leaving the team flat-footed to get back. And of course, you let in one, you're frustrated, so you want to go all out to try and put it right and still convert on the power play, and then you let another one in, and it intensifies again, doesn't it? As here we go.
Nicely read there.
It was, yeah, dumped in on that far side, and again eats into his clock with 22 seconds left now on the Huskies power play. stretch pass that will be dumped in.
An important kill so far.
It is, and we said they had to really, but also they need to make sure that they don't allow Bristol to gain any more momentum from the end of it if they are to continue this pursuit to score against Gemma. Helped on its way by Georgia Ashton. So Diamonds back to full strength then. Lizzie Saunders back out the box. That one's going to be dumped into the corner. Diamonds having to build from deep then. 13:22 to go in the game, and almost about a third of the way through this period already, and time is starting to tick on for the Diamonds as Kiana Tate will clear. Gathered inside the defensive zone. And Nico Gall will watch that one into the corner. Holly Cornford will gather. Her play out of defence is charged down. And the Huskies play on the far side. I think it's Katie Edgington who took a bit of a blow to the neck. She looks like she might have been winded there. She's heading back to her bench. Looked a painful one. As Holly Cornford will look to carry out once more. But this forecheck from Bristol is doing really well right now and putting them under pressure.
It's very consistent, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And I mean, you talk about you defend from the front, and that's exactly what they did there. Into a corner. Picked off the full ball and fires over.
I think that might have just hit the top of the post, Adam, or the crossbar. It kind of looked like it bounced off something. Maybe it was the back bar. You know, the bar that runs behind them.
Yeah, could have been. It did seem to sort of rise up, didn't it? And that one comes in, collected nicely by Paige Breen, who's had a really good season. She's got a decision to make for next year as well. On a two-way this year with Solihull, so does she want to play for a team which undoubtedly will be favourites to win the regular season championship again next year, or will she want to stay with Bristol and help them get established in the Elite League, which is always difficult first year up? As Whitley can testify, and of course Bristol can as well from the last time they were in that division. Indeed, if it is Bristol who get promoted, of course. And comes back to Wooding. It was drilling it low. Work back once more. Jess Wooding comes across.
That's the closest chance again, Adam, that they've had so far.
It is. Kiana Tate shot charged down. Wooding couldn't quite get a clean connection on it. Huskies desperately trying to scramble it away. A lot of scrambling going on in that slot area. It's getting a bit frantic and desperate now, isn't it?
I mean, how Gemma stopped that shot, I'll never know, but you know, that is incredibly frustrating if you're
yeah, no, we'll see the replay of it here. Shot comes in, yeah, you're right, it did deflect up, didn't it?
She's just got her blocker on that just in time.
Yeah, she did.
Maybe if Wooding had just maybe aimed a little bit to the left.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a playoffs to remember personally, I think, for Gemma Davis, and obviously collectively for the Huskies. And I think there'll be some Elite League teams concerned about having to face her on a regular basis next season if indeed Bristol go up. Mila Peroni shrugs off the challenge. She'll chase that one into a corner. Kadijevic over on that far side. Pereira Murray gets a shot off. Nice blocked effort there by Gemma Wallace.
What is the shot count so far, Adam? Do you know for the game?
Sadly, we don't get them on the live stats. I don't think they get found out till the very end, but we do have goal judges for this one, thankfully. But yeah, apologies for that, folks. We don't actually get the live updates for that. We do get the penalties coming up, but not that I have a copy of it. But our camera guy Matthew does, so we do get the updates between the stoppages in play, as that one's going to be whistled dead, but a bit of a scramble in the Huskies net there. Katie Edgington going in there to help her goalie. She's smiling there, Gemma, isn't she? She's good. She's back up.
There's nothing really that I've ever seen that faces that girl.
No, that's right. Yeah. She's so cool and calm, isn't she?
Yeah.
And I spoke to her in the hotel last night, and yeah, she's so laid back. And as I say, that will stand her in good stead for next season. And I mean, you'd argue she's probably in the form of her career right now.
Oh, absolutely. She's very comfortable there between those pipes.
Yeah, she is. As B. Leicester blows a tyre as she heads towards the boards. Jess Wooding over on that far side and picked off in front of the blue line. Chased into a corner. Mackenzie Kelly and Grace Cooper. Oh, Kelly still controlling it, even though she's down on her knees and back up now. Oof, they almost come off Wooding's stick there. She has to react quick and get it away. Jazz Little will blast it clear and quickly controlled by CJ Ashton. Ashton, who
seems to be on a bit of a run now.
Yeah, it was a burst of speed from her, wasn't it? But look at the competitiveness from Becky Osmond. Oh, great opportunity there from Holly Cornford, and again, another good shooting opportunity. That Cornford shoots again, gathered into her chest. Well, Ashton was celebrating. I didn't know if she thinks she'd gone in at first.
I was thinking that too. I was like, has she got her hands up because she's celebrating, or was she getting slashed or something? I don't know.
Yeah, it looked like a natural reaction, as if somebody had scored and you'd celebrate the goal, didn't it? We get the replay of the Cornford opportunity just going wide, and from that draw, it does seem like she is playing as a forward now, Holly Cornford. Gemma Wallace and Helen Emerson on D, so opting to play the nets off, actually. The net's not flush along the line. Gemma Davis just reattaching it now. Yeah, Holly Cornford then playing on the wing on this line with Anya Kadievich and CJ Ashton. So again, the Diamonds bench opting to make some changes. Kadievich have a backhand shot, but again, well covered off on the short side by Gemma Davis, who weren't going to get beaten from there. Then we needed to open up the angle a bit more to try and shoot across her to the
some words exchanged there between Ashton and Inkel, is it Inkel?
Inca. Becky Inca, yeah. She was voted.
Well, weren't too happy there with each other, so they weren't Adam.
No, well, two big competitors, aren't they? And you can understand, so much on the line this late stage of a game. I'm sure it'll be all forgotten about in the handshakes as Jones will control the puck forward. But Inca, who was named Division 1 Defensive All-Star, and I mean the amount of numbers the amount of minutes she's posted this weekend. I mean, she has been a rock at the back, hasn't she? Mm-hmm. Canadian-born defender, and a great addition to this Bristol team, and indeed to the WNIHL. That one's cleared from Kiana Tate. Comes nicely to Millie Fulbourn. The drop pass will fall nicely for Tate, who fires, high glove save. I think Kiana deserves a goal again from her performance, and I mean that.
I know, she's getting a lot of opportunities, a lot of shots on net.
You feel sorry for that one that hit the post at the end of the second period, because she so unlucky for her not to go in.
Has to cross the line though, Adam.
It does indeed, and it didn't on that occasion. It did everything but that, and if it was a 2-1 game right now, you don't know. Come off the top of the. Off the top of the post again.
I think if Hull did actually convert a goal here, Adam, I think this would really turn the game around for them.
I think for a good of a game, it would, and for neutrals, it is what's needed. Nice tussle off the puck there. Cornford battling with Revel. Apologies if I'm not pronouncing it correctly. Over on that far side, Kadievich.
Lovely little pass back, but just out of the reach there.
It was. Yeah, it was. Cooper keeping it inside, but Bristol with a chance to clear now. That's going to go for icing. Surely, yeah. We'll get the whistle on the play with 6:35 to go. Not long left now, is there?
Yeah, that's Bristol are used to this. They've done this every third period nearly enough in the tournament.
Yeah, they have.
They can do it for another 3 periods.
Yeah, this is true. yeah, you're right. So we're going to go with the Lizzie Saunders line, but they have changed things up, and Millie Fulbourn's on our left wing now, along with Kiana Tate. So we have changed things up once more. Kiana Tate, lovely cut back
potentially their last 6.5 minutes in the Elite League for the Kingston Diamonds.
For at least a year, yeah, it could well be, couldn't it? I still can't quite believe what I'm witnessing here. I never did imagine Kingston would be in this position, if I'm honest.
Me too.
But you have to feel for them in terms of, you know, not having the likes of Katie Marsden and Mia Forbes available for this game. Without a shadow of a doubt, those two would have made a difference to this team.
Definitely, Adam.
Whilst you can't obviously put all that pressure on just two players, but they would be massively stronger. Any team would be with those two in their lineup, and that one just flashes wide. But let's not get too detracted from that, and let's also appreciate just how good of a performance this is from Bristol, and not take anything away from them, because they have worked hard for this. I think there's been a lot of scepticism over the years as to do certain teams want to get promoted or not. Well, Bristol have turned up here and shown exactly that they do want to get promoted, and took a 2-goal lead early on, and they've controlled the game nicely since then. That effort coming in, I mean, you can't fault Kingston's effort, can you? They're still pushing to try and get that breakthrough, but
well, they don't have a choice, Adam.
Yeah, it's just not happening for them, though, is it?
No.
Final game of this playoff weekend. It's gone by so quick, they always do. This one shot through the crease and turned aside by Davis. Holly Cornford.
They need to get the shots up here last 5 minutes. They need to be Pepper and Gemma. It's the only chance they're going to have now to try and even up this game, Adam, is to really put the pressure on Gemma and keep possession of the puck.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Pereira Murray gets a shot off. It's blocked by Gemma Wallace inside the final 5 minutes. You just wonder where they could get a goal from. They've tried everything. And Gemma Davis is literally invincible right now. On another day, that could have been given for...
Bristol fans looking for a call there, but...
Yeah, I mean, she might have gone down a little bit easily, but I mean, she did have a stick in the back, so I've seen them given.
Yeah,
I've seen softer calls given as well. So now we are going to get a penalty, and that's going to be on Bristol. Kadijevic goes down. That's interesting to make a call like that after one not given at the other end, isn't it? And
yeah,
I don't know if Bristol will be too happy about that.
I don't know if it was because she had possession of the puck at that time versus before. I don't think she had possession of the puck then. I think that's maybe the difference. Maybe.
Kadijevic is
not a ref.
Stayed down. No.
Disclaimer.
So Kadijevic has stayed down. She's sort of in a kneeling position, but we've got medic out there to check on her anyway. I don't think she's in too much distress. I think it's Kingston called a timeout. I think she's again, it was a heavy collision. She's helped up, and she is skating back. Well, not at full speed, obviously, but maybe just trying to shake that off. We had the wind knocked out of her a bit, but this will buy her a bit more time by having the timeout called, and a chance for the Diamonds to regroup, and they will allow her to get back to the bench before they start the 30-second timeout. I would imagine it would be quite a simple team talk right now of just get the puck in the net.
Yeah, and I think who you're going to put out there as well, Adam, is really important, and I think maybe at one point do you pull Georgia for the final?
I think they have pulled Georgia, haven't they? She's not come back out.
Well, they've got 5 on, I think. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, they haven't brought the 6th player on, but
6th player's just gone on there last minute.
So 6 against 4.
It is going to be an overload that'll win them.
Yeah, they've got to do it. Even though there is over 4 minutes to go, they can't leave it too late. Oh, Ashton nearly squeezing home on the blocker side, but Davis quick to get back up and cover off that side.
You can't blame Ashton for that quick ninja-like reflex there to quickly release that puck.
Oh, they've got a chance to clear it. Won't go on target. It's going to go into the corner, and of course it won't be icing because we're on a penalty kill with 3.5 minutes to go then. I mean, particularly when it's a 2-goal deficit, I think even without the power play, I think Diamonds would have had to have considered pulling the goalie around that time, just about.
A frustrating offside call there against Kingston. Ashton's still on the bench here. We've got an empty net for Kingston, and we've got a 6-on-5, Adam, or 6-on-4.
Yeah, I didn't know if I was going to bring her back out. I mean, I suppose what you could do is park a defender relatively deep so that they can't shoot it on net, but they're not going to choose to do that.
And we still just have 5 on.
5, yeah. Again, these late changes, they're not helping themselves here, Diamonds.
No.
You'd think there'd be a bit more urgency as to that. I mean, that's...
Doesn't really look like everybody's on the same page there.
Absolutely not. That's just going to go wide. That was closer than the last one, but...
Diamonds really need to pull it together here, Adam. They really need to pull this last few minutes together, and someone needs to take the charge here.
Yeah, they do. It's this is not the Kingston Diamonds I've seen over the years. They look shell shops right now.
It was a great opportunity there, but Gemma then again making the save.
Gianna Tate didn't get a clean shot off. Artwell's going to break through now. This is going to be the winner then. That is game over, and a Katie Edgington hat-trick marker is going to be the difference. With 2:35 to go, it's an empty netter. Diamonds had to go for it. They would have been criticised if they hadn't. They had no choice. 2 goals to make up. You might as well lose 3-0 as 2-0 and give it a go, but it was always likely to end in this way, and Edge chasing that one down.
That's a real blow to Kingston now.
It is. They're still on a power play, of course. 5 on 4, although they've still got 6 players on the ice right now. The officials a little bit quick to get the game finished. They hadn't allowed the players to get back on the bench.
Quite frustrating, Adam, now if we do see a goal from Kingston, won't it?
Yeah, there's a 2-on-1 rush here. So here it was, a natural hat-trick for Katie Edgington, goal scorer supreme in this league. And she'll have fun next season with this Huskies team, I'm sure. That one's cleared to...
Doesn't look like the girls have much to play for now, Adam. They're just a bit lethargic now.
I think mentally, you know, don't you? Well, less than 2 minutes to go, 3 goals down.
Still see the likes of Thulburn. Is that Wooding there, skating up the ice? Or no, that's...
Helen Emerson.
I'm going to mispronounce her name, number 66.
Oh, Anya Kadievich.
Anya Kadievich.
Yeah. Well, she's still on the ice, Anya. She's at the high slot now, just coming across. And she's on the puck now.
Yeah, I think she's had an outstanding game.
Yeah, well, you would expect so. She's a former Croatian international.
Is that right? Wow.
Yeah. She's a good player. A lot of experience.
She would know a girl I used to play with called Eva Chafka. I don't know how to pronounce the surname, but her and her sister play together. Right. Yeah. The clock's still going.
Yeah, they were shouting. I think they'll just not restart it for a few seconds to make that time back up, I'm guessing. But either way, I think it's possibly irrelevant right now, even if they do add a couple more seconds on. But it's gone really flat in here, hasn't it? I think they know the game's over. It's a very weird situation, though, isn't it? Because, you know, it's the only game which relegates a team. We obviously have other games which promote teams, so this is the only one that relegates a team. And last season, well, there wasn't a relegation. One team kept their place in the elite, while the other one failed to get promotion, essentially. So it wasn't quite the same situation. This has relegated a team much like Bristol were relegated 2 years ago, but they've come back stronger than when they last went up. They lost. There's going to be a delay penalty called here. They lost players when they had gone up. They probably would have had a stronger team if that had been the case and kept hold of everyone. As that's Aniko Gall with a chance to make it 4. Fired over, though, with pressure coming in there from the Diamonds. Now we're going to get the penalty called. But they're going to come back and be a stronger team next season in the elite, and we're going to have a change to the lineup in terms of teams in there. And for the likes of Whitley Bay Beacons, we've got a very long set of away trips next season because their shortest trip now is Solihull, with Kingston no longer going to be an elite league team, as the Huskies are going to call a timeout.
Who's called a timeout there?
It'll be the Huskies. Not entirely sure why, but because the Diamonds scored the first one, didn't they?
Probably just because they can.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, with what's left and they're on the power play, why even call it?
Yeah. Do they want to try and get another one past them, or?
I wouldn't have thought so. I wouldn't see the point, to be honest with you.
No.
I can't quite understand why, with 35 seconds left on a power play, a 3-goal lead.
Yeah, it seems like you're dragging out.
Diamonds aren't going to score 3 short-handed goals in 35 seconds. Not even the Chelmsford Rattlesnakes could do that. They needed almost 2 minutes to do that. But yeah, I didn't quite understand why they called that there, really. But anyway, we're back underway. Becky Osman will gather. She's on the point. I mean, if I was the Huskies, I'd just want to run the clock down and get it over with and get the game finished.
Yeah.
Osman will cycle back round. She is just holding
exactly
on now.
What she's doing, yeah.
14 seconds to go. Midi Fulborn. Five seconds to go. They are going to head into the Elite League then. It's a long dump in, and that will do it. And the Bristol Huskies have won promotion to the Elite League. Congratulations to them. And this is what a season's worth of hard work is all about, this point. And they return to the Elite League after 2 seasons away. I mean, what an achievement it is, because it's not easy as the team from the lower league to beat the team from the top division, and they've done that. You've got a feel for Kingston, though. What must be running through their minds now? They've been a well-established side in the top flight for so long.
Run of history, Adam.
Yeah, it is. This is going to have a massive shake-up in terms of the top 3 divisions, in fact. So expect some changes to the division alignments next season. But as we're going to get the handshakes, obviously we're going to have a team that's very subdued here. I think even more so than a straight playoff defeat, as we saw yesterday. This isn't just essentially a team winning the playoffs and one coming second. This is a team that's gained promotion, a team that's been relegated. And whilst you're happy for Bristol, your hearts also go out for the Diamonds, because it is such a difficult situation to be in. You've played in this game before 2 years ago, and your thoughts are naturally going to turn to the other side, and even amongst your own success, aren't you?
Yeah, no. And I think the likes of Becky Osman and people like that who work so hard from Bristol to get that club in a good place, and runs the Bristol tournament every year, and has done for 20 plus years. Like, Bristol has a good history for women's hockey, and maybe deserve that place in the Elite League. And we'll see what they do this season. Coming, they might shape things up and make a different outcome than they have done in the past times they've been in the Elite League. They might be a bit more competitive, so I'm excited to see that. I
think they will, to be honest. I think this looks a much more stronger and confident side, and the form that Gemma Davis is in, they will have opportunities, and I think it might be difficult against the likes of Solihull and the Queen Bees. I think that's going to be tough for anybody, but they'll fancy their chances against Streatham, Guildford, and possibly Whitley Bay as well.
Yeah.
It's a long trip for Whitley in terms of having players available for a full bench as well. And to say, I mean, with the likes of Gemma Davis in this sort of form, if she can replicate that next season in the top flight, there's not going to be a single team in that Elite League who's going to relish facing her. I mean,
no.
We saw 2 top players from the Queen Bees playing for Swindon yesterday, and they beat her twice, but still wasn't enough to actually win the game.
Yeah, exactly, Adam. She's used to this level, and will be very comfortable going back up to the Elite League and facing the kinds of shots that she'll face.
Yeah, indeed. So this is the end of the playoff weekend. It's the final period of the final game, all 13 in the book, but we do have Player of the Game awards. Anyone stand out for you, Ash, for this game from both sides?
From both sides, Kenzie Kelly did well.
Yes, she did.
So before the MVP presentations, I'm going to hand you over to Faye.
Paige Breen.
Yeah, she's been good all weekend as well. So we'll hand over to Faye Andrews now.
Just wanted to say thanks to everybody, and I know we've not got many people left, but thanks for staying to the end. Just want to say a big thanks to our referees all weekend. I want to say a really massive thank you to Adam and Matthew from the media team. Absolute warriors. 12 hours a day, no breaks, and they're responsible for us having a really nice live stream, commentary, and a really good experience for people watching at home. Thanks to every single volunteer and parent who stood in the penalty boxes on the weekend. Really big thanks to our events team who sat here for hours in the freezing cold doing our game sheets, timekeeping, calling for the announcing, Danny, Michelle, Rachel, Maddie, who's not even really on the team, but she is now. We've also got our media team, so we've got Bethany who's been leading our socials all weekend with Craig. And also we've got Dylan who's been helping out, and we've got our photography team. Without them, we wouldn't have so much exposure on our social media for all the great opportunities. Sorry, Rachel got stuck by it. And just really the thanks to every single team that's attended and played an amazing weekend of hockey. All the fans and all the parents and the people who've invested in the sport all year to try and give us like the very, very best that we can get for this weekend. They have left now. Gary and Gareth, who came over from Manchester Storm at the last minute to do the goal judging, and they weren't supposed to. They drove over here from Manchester to go judge for the whole weekend on a win. So I'd say thanks to them, they're not here now. It's always a really hard work weekend, and it's always really rewarding when we get to the end. And I know there's always going to be winners and losers, and that'll be a next season problem, I guess. But yeah, just a big thank you to every single person who's walked through the door, who's watched, to our medical therapy teams, to make sure our players are looked after and healthy all weekend. And big thanks to everybody for supporting women's hockey again for another season.
Thanks very much. Before we do the player of the games, a big thank you from all of us to Faye. You put all the hard work into these playoff weekends, and without that, it just wouldn't go ahead. And this has been my 5th year, my 4th behind the mic, and it hasn't. If Martin has his way of being the last, he loves his baby shark. And it hasn't let down. It's been an absolute treat. It's been a pleasure to be here, to be a part of it. So thank you, and all of you up there, and Faye, and everyone with the team. You've made it a fantastic event. So well done, and keep it going. And now before more questions out, MVP time.
So
For the
thank
Kingston
yous out the way then.
it
Kingston time to close
goes
the
to
game.
number 28, Helen
Helen
Emerson.
Emerson. I'm sure that'll be a bittersweet moment for Helen. A nice personal award, of course, but when your team has just lost and been relegated, I'm sure that's going to be the last thing on our mind. And we do, as I say, we do feel for this Diamond side.
And for the Bristol
We wish them all the best of luck
Huskies,
next season in trying to regain their position back in the
but it
league.
goes to 77, Katie Edgington.
Katie Edgington, it couldn't have been anyone else really with that natural hat-trick. Well done to her, and what a season it has been for her, leading the Huskies in scoring. And congratulations to her team, who will be back in the Elite League. Very fun. Player of the Game awards there.
Let's see the good ones for Kingston Diamonds. Sheffield. We'd like to thank you all for coming. Have a safe trip home. Have a good rest of the bank holiday weekend. Take care. Hope to see you back. If not here, at another rink, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, enjoy your hockey, enjoy your summer. Take care. Till next time, ta-ra!
So that wraps it up then, and well, a huge thank you to everyone who has helped me out during the weekend, joining me on commentary. Aisling, thank you so much for today, and obviously early on in the weekend when you joined me on comms. Been a huge help, and it's always a pleasure having you alongside me for your great insight in the game.
Thank you, Adam, for everything you do. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. We'll see you all next season, and yeah, that's another playoff weekend in the books. Congratulations again to the Bristol Huskies. They are an elite league team once again. Thank you, and enjoy your summer.